Hello everyone, welcome back to another review video. Today, we're going to be reviewing Cars 2006, a lot of fun in one movie from Pixar. Released in 2006, Cars is one of Pixar's most polarizing films. Some fans absolutely adore it, others think it's a speed bump in Pixar's near-perfect track record. But nearly 2 decades later, how does it really hold up? Is Cars a misunderstood gem or just a shiny chassis with nothing under the hood? Let's start with the basics. Cars follows Lightning McQueen, a cocky rookie race car who ends up stranded in a forgotten desert town called Radiator Springs. Along the way, he learns that there's more to life than fame and speed. It's about friendships, slowing down, and appreciating the ride. Now, the world of Cars is, well, kind of bizarre. It's a world populated entirely by vehicles, no humans, no animals. Just cars with eyes in their windshields and mouths on their bumpers. And while that raises a lot of strange questions, the film commits to it fully, and that's part of the charm. Pixar has always been great at creating memorable characters, and Cars is no exception. Like his rival Chick Hicks, who wants him to lose to the races. Like bro come on now trying to cheat and make you win, come on chick that's a big L for my boy. And these guys making Lightning get stranded in the middle of the highway like come on now. So Cars is not just an ordinary film, it's film filled with a story and joke. When I was a kid I loved this movie. As a child it was so much fun to watch. But almost at 20 years old it's just shocking how this film came out such a long time ago. Also this film is one of my favorites, like Planes 2013. It just felt like so good to watch it all the time, and it's such overrated film in my opinion. Alone it is just that good in my opinion. Here's where Cars really shines: its themes. The idea of slowing down and appreciating small-town values over flashy fame is powerful. It speaks to audiences of all ages. Like the legend Doc Hudson in this movie really made it feel like an overrated film for me for sure. Visually, Cars was stunning in 2006 and it still looks great today. The textures, the lighting, the way the desert looks at sunset, Pixar pushed the limits here. Now, Cars isn't without its flaws. The pacing in the middle can feel slow, especially for younger viewers. Some jokes don't land. And yes, some people just can't get past the Cars with personalities thing. But love it or hate it, Cars made a massive cultural impact. It spawned 2 sequels, a TV series, and billions in merchandise sales. For a generation of kids, Lightning McQueen is the Pixar character. Before we continue, consider hitting that subscribe button, it would be great, thank you. So, is Cars a good movie? Honestly, yes. Maybe not Pixar's best, but far from its worst. It has heart, charm, and a unique world that stuck with audiences for almost 20 years. Some people loved it, others weren't impressed. And even today, Cars remains one of Pixar's most debated movies. So, is it a misunderstood classic or just Pixar's first real misfire? Let's pop the hood and take a long drive through Cars. At first glance, Cars sounds like a pretty straightforward story. Lightning McQueen is a hotshot rookie race car who's so focused on winning, he forgets what really matters. He ends up in a quiet, forgotten desert town after an accident and is forced to slow down, reflect, and grow up. Yeah, it's a familiar arc. We've seen it before in movies like Doc Hudson, which, by the way, Cars basically remakes for a younger audience. But where Cars stands out is in its world building. This is an alternate universe where cars are sentient, there are no humans, and somehow tractors move. It doesn't make sense, but Pixar doesn't care, and honestly, neither do kids. Radiator Springs, the town where Lightning ends up, is more than just a setting, it's a metaphor for a lost way of life. Once thriving thanks to Route 66, it was abandoned after a new interstate diverted traffic away. That's not just a plot point, that's real American history. Let's talk characters. Cars thrives because of its strong cast, even if not all of them are equally loved. At first, Lightning is almost unbearable, selfish, arrogant, all ego. But that's intentional. The joy of Cars comes from watching him change. He goes from I am speed to I am kind of a decent guy. And that arc is surprisingly heartfelt. Then there's Doc Hudson, voiced by the legendary Paul Newman. He's the heart of the movie. A former racing legend with a painful past, Doc brings weight and wisdom. His story about being cast aside by the racing world gives Cars its emotional depth. And yeah, we can't ignore Mater, voiced by Larry the Cable Guy. Mater is a bit like Jar Jar Binks. People either find him hilarious or insufferable. But at least here, he's used in moderation and brings some balance to Lightning's seriousness. Characters like Sally, Fillmore, Luigi, and Ramon add charm. Each one represents a different piece of Americana, from 60s hippie culture to Italian car enthusiasm. They make Radiator Springs feel real and lived in. Here's where Cars absolutely nails the visuals. Pixar and all out to capture the spirit of the American Southwest. The rocks in Ornament Valley are shaped like tail fins and hood ornaments. The lighting during sunset is stunning. And that night scene when the town lights up with neon, it's pure visual poetry. This film is a technical achievement. Every reflection on Lightning's paint, every patch of cracked pavement, it's detailed, textured, and immersive. Pixar reportedly sent the team on road trips down Route 66 just to capture that authentic small-town vibe. Under the hood, Cars is about more than just racing. It's about humility, about slowing down, about remembering your roots. Lightning starts off obsessed with being the best, but realizes that relationships and legacy matter more than a piston cup. The movie also critiques how progress often leaves people behind. The rise of highways crush towns like Radiator Springs, places with real character. That hits harder when you realize Cars is Pixar's love letter to those forgotten places. But we've gotta address the elephant, or rather, the hummer in the room. Cars isn't perfect. For one, the pacing can drag, especially in the middle act. There are long stretches where not much happens, and that can lose younger viewers. Some jokes don't land, and the logic of the Cars universe is confusing if you think too hard about it. Critics also argued that Cars felt more like a branding move than a passion project. And yet it made over $10 billion in merchandise. Lightning McQueen was everywhere. Lunchboxes, pajamas, toothbrushes, you name it. But here's the thing. Just because something is marketable doesn't mean it's bad. Pixar didn't just cash in, they still told a real story with real emotion. So, is Cars a good movie? Honestly, yeah. Maybe not top-tier Pixar like Up or Inside Out, but it's far better than people give it credit for. It's thoughtful, beautiful, and surprisingly emotional. And for an entire generation of kids, it was their Pixar moment. If you revisit it now, you might be surprised by how much heart it really has. Like other Cars films, like Cars 2, which we're not going over today because it's for another video for another day, or Cars 3 even. Today, Cars is more appreciated than it was at release. It may not be Pixar's deepest film, but it's certainly not their weakest. It carved out its own legacy, literally with its own section at Disney's California Adventure. For many, this movie was their first introduction to Pixar. It taught them lessons about pride, change, and community through talking cars. And that's something only Pixar could pull off. Still, Cars didn't raise to universal acclaim. Some critics called it too slow, too safe, and more commercial than artistic. And let's be honest, Disney milked this movie. Cars became a merchandising empire, reportedly earning over $10 billion in product sales. You couldn't walk into a store without seeing Lightning McQueen's face on everything from cereal to shoes. Then Cars 2 came out. We're not talking about that, and shifted gears hard into spy comedy. A lot of older fans fell off, but Cars 3 quietly brought the franchise back to its emotional roots. And yes, for another review we will talk about Cars 3 and exploring aging, mentorship, and legacy. So, is Cars a good movie? Yeah, it's not just good, it's meaningful. It's visually gorgeous, emotionally grounded, and maybe even a little underappreciated. But that's just my take. What do you think? Does Cars deserve more love, or did it peak in the tow aisle? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if you enjoyed the ride, and subscribe for more deep dives into animation classics. I've got more Pixar and DreamWorks reviews coming soon. Comedy fan.